What's up, everybody? Happy holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Tet, all the rest. Look at us being festive in our shop sweaters. Should we turn them on since these all light up? I'm going to turn
Does
them
this
on.
light up?
Why don't I?
This one does.
Yeah, there you go.
Rest in Christmas.
It's Nug. How are you? I'm fine. And as always, I'm joined by Jimmy Corderas, Kevin Mickey, and Anthony Corelli. We're all celebrating the holidays in our festive WWE shop sweaters. Check these out.
Jeez,
But I'm not going to distract everybody with these lights. Only when I have a good idea, I will turn them on. So let's get started with our wins for this week. We had TLC on Sunday, and I'm going to get started. I think that the Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens really stole the show. I thought it was intense. There was a ton of actual fighting for a title instead of wandering around and doing stuff. And Kevin wanted to win that title. Roman wanted to keep that title. It wasn't just two guys fighting for bragging rights. There was a couple of moments, I will say I was a little confused when Roman Reigns powerbombed Kevin Owens on a ladder and commentary told me that he was spinebustered through a table. I'm not going to say who that was, but their name rhymes with Michael Cole. And then I loved that, Jey Uso interfered and Kevin was basically fighting two guys, and it took two people plus a low blow for Kevin Owens to win that or to lose that match. Roman remains the head of the table, but I honestly don't think this is ending. I think it's kind of just getting started, and I loved it. That was my win for TLC.
I thought that the spine buster through the table really threw me off for a second. I had to pause and go, what just happened? Sorry.
I honestly thought I had a stroke for like a half a second.
I thought that I was getting there as well. All kidding aside here, that match, it was so good. It was sweet. Yes, Kevin Owens needs some friends though. Jey Uso is out there the whole time. KO can't get one person to come help him. I saw him tweet afterwards that the Riot Squad wasn't in the house, so I guess members of the Riot Squad are his only friends. So KO needs to get some friends.
Yeah.
If this thing is going to keep moving on, if they're going to keep having matches where anybody can interfere at any time. Otherwise, KO, like you said, Nug, he proved that he wants this thing so damn bad, and the intensity sold me on the match the whole time. That's why I loved it too.
No, I totally agree. Like I had big expectations going in, and sometimes when you have high expectations and the match doesn't deliver, you get disappointed. That was far from what happened here. And you talked about Kevin Owens possibly needing friends. I mentioned this a while back. Maybe he forms a new version of the Quebecers with a fellow Canadian by the name of Sami Zayn.
I'd
those two guys
love
get
to see
together.
it.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, even the build up and the lead up, the amount of punishment he was absorbing and taking and keep, limping to the ring and keep pushing forward. Professional wrestling match is a blank canvas in which the artist can paint the picture of one's spirit and will to fight, and that was fully on display here.
Oh, that's fine.
Somebody agreed with you.
Yeah, talk about that ladder match.
Anyway, I thought they really put on a demonstration of fighting spirit.
Yeah, really quickly. It's funny because a veteran, a legend, an icon once said, and I wish I remember who said it, but it was a while back. In this business, we don't sell motion, we sell emotion, and that's what that match gave us, a lot of emotion that night.
100%. And Jimmy, yours involves that Universal Championship match, but your win, you thought both title matches really delivered.
I honestly did. Again, you have high expectations, and I was concerned going into the pay-per-view. Yes, the pay-per-view was titled TLC. It doesn't mean that every match or more than one match has to be a TLC match. So having two TLC matches on the pay-per-view kind of made me nervous because I wanted them to differentiate themselves enough where they could be different but yet entertaining. And I thought both were different enough and presented a different story. Like you said, the Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens ones felt very, very personal, and AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre was more, this is a first time meeting of these two ever. And again, I thought both matches delivered on a pay-per-view where I was really concerned that there'd be a lot of similarities in the match. They did a lot of different stuff and it worked.
Yeah.
So I will say that I agree. I thought both matches were pretty solid TLC wise. The AJ Drew one, I'm not sure if it was because going in, I wasn't as loving the ahead of match stuff as much as I was KO and Reigns, but I don't know. It just felt like to me, it was just like, okay, that was fine. It was solid enough. And then I kind of moved on. It didn't really stand out to me. What did stand out to me in that match was the fact that I think we all take AJ Styles for granted sometimes with just how good he is. Because man, can that guy just fly around the ring. And he looks like he is getting the hell kicked out of him all the time when he's bumping around the ring and just sliding through ropes and violently hitting the mat on the outside. AJ really, really good in this match. And I was very happy to see that The Miz did not cash in his money in the bank.
Yeah, it was a strange cash in to make it a triple threat. Usually you wait till someone's demolished and pick up the pieces. Well, whatever. Miz isn't that smart anyway. But I must say, was it last night? Yeah, last night. Oh my God. Miz did a great job on the mic. I was before I talk about that. AJ Styles is really funny lately. His character, obviously, is incredible in the ring, but some of the little subtle things he does off camera or in the background, he's really coming to his own with regards to little comedic, injections there.
Yeah, he's being a lot more entertaining. Usually he's just, I'm the best, prove me wrong kind of thing. And now he's saying and doing some really dumb, funny stuff in the background. About that cash in, the point was brought up last night. I don't know what Jimmy thinks about this, but Miz wasn't the one who cashed in the briefcase. It was Morrison, and that's not Morrison's briefcase to cash in. Yeah. Miz did not hand over the briefcase. So now there's a point to be made that Miz might still be Mr. Money in the Bank.
Well, then if he had an issue, he should have said, no, I'm not cashing it in. He didn't. No, he did last night after the fact. Yeah. So the match was over, and then he said, "Oh, by the way, you can't have your cake and eat it too."
But it's so heelish for a heel to
He's
play
a bad guy.
Mentality.
I get it. He can complain all he wants, but you know what?
You go to court. Take it to court.
Yeah.
Anthony, your win, return. I'm not going to say I predicted it, but I did.
You did. No, you did.
Anthony, your win was the return of Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, the queen is back. You know what? The merry-go-round doesn't stop, right? If one horse falls off, it doesn't stop. If you almost don't notice, she was gone for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. And obviously the show is still whole and complete without her. But when she came back, it just seemed like, all right, now, it's getting real. And she's just probably the best in the company right. She is top-notch blue chipper, and it's just better with her here.
Again, sorry to interrupt you there, Kevin. No, it's just that you mentioned the merry-go-round. The carousel goes around when one horse falls off. Sometimes you hardly even notice. That shows you how deep the women's division is, and Charlotte coming back definitely bolsters that division hugely. And I'm just going to give a quick shout out here to Carmella and Sasha because, again, you talk about delivering. Those two delivered as well, and just the women's division overall is really something to see right now.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, Jimmy, is I thought that getting Charlotte back into the women's division was just such a much needed boost, especially to the star power, because I wasn't buying really anybody as a contender for Asuka's Raw Women's Championship, but now Charlotte is immediately the contender. It's not like Carmella comes in on SmackDown and just kicks Sasha Banks and she's the contender. It's like, okay, no. I think that Charlotte should actually be the number one contender immediately, especially with the performances that she's putting on, like on TLC, like on Raw, where she wins and then defends the Raw Tag Team Women's Championship. Charlotte just, oh my God, talk about somebody taking for granted. She is so good. She's incredible. She has an argument for best overall performer in the entire company. She's that good. So Anthony, I'm so fired up to see her back. Like you said,
she didn't waste time. She looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
She came back and her and Asuka win the tag team titles. And then in my head, going forward, I can see them losing the titles and then fighting each other, which would be a match we kind of all want to see.
Mm-hmm.
But the only snag in that story is who the hell beats Asuka and Charlotte? They are, what did they, somebody online called them the Queens of Tomorrow, which is such a great name for a team name. But who beats a team of Asuka and Charlotte, Mandy and Dana, the Riot Squad, who actually beats them?
Good
Anyone?
question. It's a good question.
Returning 2 members of the 4 horsewomen. That's I don't know.
I don't know. Like it's very difficult to figure out who would
Well,
do
there's
that.
a way. Obviously, you have to separate them. And Charlotte, did you notice there was a little subtle moment yesterday where she just said, speaking of which, that Raw title, we're friends, and then ding, the music hit. So there was a little seed planted. So if she does want that Raw title, there could be some dissension amongst the ranks.
Sometimes that
Giving
ego.
somebody else an opportunity, and there's a way.
When you're a Flair, sometimes that ego gets in the way.
Oh yeah. Kevin, your win.
Speaking of ego.
I mean, speaking of ego, but also maybe the best T-shirt design in all of wrestling, Sami Zayn.
Which one? Is it I am the Intercontinental Champion or just the Sammy drawing one?
The Sammy drawing one is maybe number 1, but the I am the Intercontinental Champion is number 2 for me.
Both should be the top 2 hottest selling merch items
100%.
right after these 4 Christmas sweaters that we're all wearing,
right?
Because we're wearing them right now, and that's why everybody wants them.
Sales.
That's what I've heard. Sami Zayn, I don't know how often I've talked about this, guys, but Sami Zayn, oh my God, I love Sami Zayn. He is just the best. Everything that you could want in levity, in comedic relief, but at the same time, I'm still taking that Intercontinental Championship seriously. This isn't something that we joke about. This isn't something that we brush to the side. I want to see the Intercontinental Championship every single week, and I want to see it on Sammy. I want to see Sammy on television. He's so good, and I loved the callback to the reference to the Tom Cruise behind the scenes leaked audio of him yelling at some staffers about not following COVID protocols. And then they did the same thing with Sammy, where Sammy's berating some backstage people. And then he goes and has a confrontation with Caleb Braxton and says, you're out here taking pictures by the pool with your derriere showing. And what, are you really a journalist? Outstanding work by Sammy the whole time. He is a Canadian treasure.
Here's the thing about Sammy, for me at least. I've seen his career pre-WWE and always thought that he was a good in-ring performer, very good in-ring. He has now become a complete performer.
Yeah.
There's a difference between the two. And Sammy is that guy right now. And you can make an argument that he's one of the best on the roster right now.
Yeah.
Just needs a little more muscles, and I would put him up there just a bit. And the reason is only because he's very good in the ring. He's very good in the mic. He's excellent as a human being outside of wrestling. But for me to really suspend that disbelief, I need to see a body that I think can have a chance to beat anybody at the right time. You can be cowardice and heelish and all that stuff, but when that moment happens where it's your turn to inflict damage, that has to be believable. There has to be all those different layers to a heel. And I think he's just missing that one little slice of the pie.
I will say, I did. You could see the interview I did with Sammy on the Sportsnet YouTube page, but we had a chat about the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, the Honky Tonk Man, and the Honky Tonk Man held the title for the longest amount of time. I wouldn't say he was a muscle-bound freak of nature.
He was in shape though. He was good. He was bigger than Sammy.
A shape. He was in.
He was a shape. That's true. It might have been pear, but yeah, it was a shape. Guys, those were our wins for this week in WWE, including TLC and all of that. What did you think? Let us know on Twitter. Use the hashtag AskAftermath. Be sure to tag Jimmy Corderas in it and wish him happy holidays. Tell him how much you like his sweater and how much he looks like Stone Cold. Guys, check out our fails coming up, plus trivia with Jimmy Corderas.
Ooh.